How to turn setbacks into hat tricks. A few years ago, I found myself sitting on the balcony of a luxurious Polish hotel, sipping on a refreshing beverage and enjoying the warm summer breeze. Little did I know the universe had an exceptional life story in store for me that day. As the sun began to set, the garden below came alive with the sounds of laughter and music, signaling the beginning of a birthday celebration. To my surprise, the party was for none other than the renowned footballer, Robert Lewandowski. To be honest, I couldn't help but eavesdrop on the conversations and speeches below, piecing together a story of resilience and determination. The more I overheard about Robert's journey to becoming a world-class athlete, the more I admired his character. One particularly endearing anecdote was shared by his mother, recalling Robert's early days at his childhood club, Varsovia, Warsaw.
When the coach first saw Robert, he commented, "Oh, what a little man." Robert was only 9 years old at the time, but his father responded, "And he's really good."
Robert's mom continued,
At that time, he was playing with boys who were 2 years older than him. Physically, he was, of course, weaker, but there were moments when the coach would shout at a player, "Take the ball from Robert," and the player would reply, "I can't catch up with him, coach."
Of course, some guests chuckled at this charming story. However, Robert later shared a more serious setback he faced as a teenager at Legia Warsaw II in a more thoughtful tone.
Some of you might remember that I suffered a severe injury in the second half of 2005 or 2006, a muscle tear at the hip joint, which is quite a serious injury. But even before it had fully healed, I was already attending a training camp with the first team.
I learned that it was during this time that Robert's contract was nearing its expiration. It had been set for 1 year with the possibility of extension for another 2 years. He desperately wanted to know what would happen next, but no one could provide him with an answer.
In the end, the reserve team coach announced that my contract would not be extended. I still remember leaving the club's office with my player's pass in hand. Outside the stadium, my mother was already waiting for me.
That's right. On that truly dreadful day, I waited for him after his training session. He came out of the club building with his head down and his player's pass in his hand. He was completely distraught, not uttering a single word.
Yeah, it was a blow. I hadn't expected that. I had sacrificed so much for football, even switching to evening school because the training was in the morning. I was preparing for my high school graduation, and suddenly, such an unpleasant surprise happened.
As I continued to listen, I couldn't help but be captivated by the depth of emotions conveyed by both Robert and his mother, not least because the conversations and speeches quickly shifted from the crushing disappointment at Legia Warsaw II to another significant event in Robert's life, the untimely death of his father when Robert was only 16 years old. From my balcony, I heard how his mother recounted the difficult moment when she had to break the news to Robert.
I already knew it would be incredibly hard for him, so I didn't tell him right away. I waited until the afternoon when he returned from training. He had an exam that day and needed to focus on it. But in the evening, I waited with his sister, Milena, for him. Robert came in and immediately said, "Dad, I knew it."
Robert added,
I wish I could talk to him about various topics, but unfortunately that's not possible. We would definitely watch all the games together.
He also mentioned how difficult the experience must have been for his mother, who woke up that night to the eerie silence of her husband's absent snoring, only to find him already gone. After his father's death, Robert decided to dedicate his goals to him, especially the first ones in different tournaments such as the Ekstraklasa, the Bundesliga, Cups, and in the national team.
I know he would be proud of me. It's a shame he couldn't experience all of this. He had heart and liver problems, but death always comes unexpectedly.
As the evening progressed and the stories of Robert's life unfolded, I couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and inspiration. Here was a man who had faced multiple obstacles and setbacks in his life, both professionally and personally, yet managed to rise above them and achieve remarkable success. It became clear that his unwavering determination, strong support system, and the resilience to bounce back from challenges played a crucial role in his journey to the top. When I awoke the next morning, I was still sitting on my balcony. The remnants of the party had already been cleared away. However, as I found Robert's biography on my lap, I was suddenly unsure whether I had actually heard all those stories the previous night or had simply read them in his book. But to be honest, I don't really care.